Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose with Metal Nation and AXS talking with Joshua Bramlett of Indiana's The Protest. How are you doing, brother?
Hey man, doing so good. Had a great Thanksgiving. Ready to do some rocking out here soon, and I'm very stoked to talk to you, I must say.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Happy holidays. How is everything in your world?
Life is great, man. Me and the dudes are about ready to head out on a couple-week run and just doing lots of cool stuff, man.
Before we talk about the new album Legacy, which is why we're here, let's sort of give everybody some backstory on the band. As I was reading your bio and everything, it's funny that you and your brother Jared, you sort of discovered your passion for music after hearing Kiss Alive. And you guys are like,
yeah, dude.
You guys are half my age, and that was essentially the album that changed my life as well.
Wow. That's phenomenal, man. Growing up, I always loved music, but it wasn't until I heard the band Kiss, my neighbors growing up, they kept bringing down all this Kiss stuff. And at the time, I was a little kid. I didn't even know that Kiss was a band. I thought they were some kind of like superheroes or some kind of monsters. I had no idea, but I thought they were really cool, And then one day, I'm over there at their house, and they're listening to some music, and I was really digging it. I was digging the vibe, and they're like, "This is Kiss." And I'm like, "You're telling me these guys are in a band?" And that kind of did it from me. So from then, I started asking my dad, "Hey, what are some other good bands?" He's like, "If you like them, then try AC/DC, Cheap Trick." So I got into classic rock, I got into hair metal, I got into rock and roll, and in high school, caught the bug, kind of wanted to be in a band, play some rock and roll music, and my brother and I started jamming out along with our best pal TJ and my guitar teacher Adam. Upon getting his degree from the Musicians Institute in California, came back to good old Indiana to join the band, and it's been us since 2009.
Yeah, I was going to mention guitarist Adam Sadler, TJ Caldwell round out the lineup along with your brother, of course. Is there a story behind the band name?
Yeah, dude. So I wish it was like a really, really cool story. It's kind of cool. So we went under the moniker Protest for Pluto for years. If you recall, the planet wasn't a planet for a while, and we were pretty angsty in our youth, and we're like, that's stupid, and it's ridiculous. So anyways, we did our first real record down in Knoxville, Tennessee, with a guy named Travis Wyrick. He's done stuff for POD and Pillar and a lot of bands in our industry. And he sort of wrecked shop, dude. He kind of trimmed the fat. Like, we were not a very good band going in, and we emerged a whole different outfit. So with this new sound and our heart set to help change lives, we wanted to just redo everything. So we started fresh with a new band name, The Protest, something bold that will hopefully get people to shows. The only problem we used to run into back in the day was there were some towns that actually thought there was a protest going on. But hey, whatever gets them to the concert, right?
And you guys have been together for about a decade now. How has the band evolved over that time?
Well, dude, we grow as men. We've had 3 records. We've been really what we've been focusing on is just trying to reach people with our music, just trying to be a positive light. And what could be considered kind of a negative genre at times, we want to bring some hope to the picture. If we can do that, then it's a successful day. We've had the privilege of touring this country, touring Germany, even touring Latvia. It's been a wild ride, dude. We're not making, bank playing rock and roll, but we love what we do, and it's our passion.
You guys did a lot of songwriting collaboration for this new record, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It was really scary for us. We did a little bit of co-writing on our second record, but nothing quite like this. And, being artists, we were very hesitant at first. We didn't want anyone else involved. It's our craft. It's this. So we're holding it very close to our chest. But we got to write with some of the most brilliant writers and artists we've ever gotten the privilege of working with. And having somebody else in the room besides just the 4 of us to bounce ideas off of and to come up with different parts and different lyrics here and there was amazing. And I think some of the best songs on the record were the product of doing those co-writes. What's
interesting to me, because you grew up on bands like Kiss and Def Leppard, REO Speed, AC/DC, all the bands you were talking about before.
Oh, yeah.
You're a big Stephen King, Dean Koontz fan, yet you're all Christian-focused men. How does that all play out in your album and lyrical themes?
Sure, man. That's a great question. It is funny that you mention all that. I've gotten, it's just funny how judgmental people can be sometimes. I've done a lot of interviews lately, and I always mention Kiss because, to be honest, like, that's the reason. I mean, even before I knew God, Kiss was kind of the reason why I started playing music. So, there's been some Christian people like, oh, how can you like Kiss? How can you read horror novels and watch horror movies and still be a Christian? That stuff kind of makes me laugh because, it's our hearts. But anyways, kind of like I mentioned before, man, yes, the four of us, we are Christian dudes. We're Christ followers, love Jesus. And, he's given us so much hope. We want our music to give hope to people in a way that's not necessarily like shoving it down your throat. We don't want to turn anyone away. If they come to one of our shows to hear some rock and roll and that's it, then that's what we're going to give to them. But if they come hurting and wanting something different, then, we can offer that too. We play churches, we play youth group stuff, but we also play bars and clubs and prisons and wherever, man. We just love to do it, and we try to be as real as possible because, dude, like, at the end of the day, we're all human. We all fall short, and we hope our lyrics kind of show that.
Yeah, and it's funny, you mentioned playing prisons. I thought I saw an upcoming show at a correctional facility on your itinerary, and I'm a parole officer by day, and I used to work in a prison as both a counselor and as a CO for a while, and it's interesting. We never got bands to come out and play, so it's got to be a totally different dynamic.
Sure, man. I mean, we've only done really only one thing similar, but nothing quite like this. This will really be our first time doing something like this. It's going to be an acoustic set, but we're really looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to meeting some of the guys and hearing some of their stories and getting to hang out. So it'll be really awesome.
So, well, let's get back to Legacy, the new album. It's been out for a few months now, but it took you guys like 4 years between records there. That had to be difficult.
Yeah. Oh, it was very tough. After our second record came out, Great Lengths, we started touring a lot. And when it came time to put out a new record, we wanted to swing for the fences. So we did a lot of homework on who we should go with, who we should co-write with. And then, as you know, the process is very time-consuming. It was a great time, but, I mean, we went through a full year of recording, mixing, mastering, going back and forth on everything. It was awesome. But when our album finally came out in July, man, it was like someone had to pinch me. Like, all that hard work and everything we put into it, like, finally, people are getting to hear it. But, our fans were so good. They remained patient, never left us or anything like that. So we're very blessed when it comes to that, for sure.
Right. Now, as you said before, you guys continue to evolve and grow as people, as musicians. It took 4 years for this album. How do you think Legacy compares relative to Game Changer and Great Lengths? I mean, obviously,
sure,
there's a continuation of your sound, but there seems to be a lot of progression as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's a good question. I think for us, I mean, as I mentioned before, we just grew as writers and musicians, and I mean, 4 years is a long time. A lot of things happened in our lives, and I think, with this record, we just wanted to say what we wanted to say. We wanted it to sound how we wanted it to sound. Like, I think in the past, we've gotten stuck in these ruts where it's like, well, this is our sound, we have to stay in our sound to make people happy. But, we wanted a record that kind of transcended that, step out of our comfort zone a little bit. And, we think there's some great tracks on the record that are very classic protest, but we also took a lot of leaps and made more poppy type big hook songs, but we also made the heaviest song in our career. So, I mean, I think it's got something for everybody. And I would like to think if you like rock and roll, hard rock, then you would dig it.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been listening to the album most of the summer, and it stays in rotation quite a bit for me. So,
well, dude, that definitely means a lot, man. Thank you so much.
Were there some things that you were able to accomplish, or things you wanted to try with Legacy that you hadn't been able to previously?
Yeah, kind of a lot of things, man. Legacy was our first release on an actual label, Rockfest Sony. So it's our first label debut. This is the first time we've had like a real team behind us to help push us. You know, we have management now. We have people helping us out, you know, like the amazing Mr. Ed Bunker helping us out, getting interviews like this and stuff like that. And I think a lot of things are coming together. I mean, we've already done 2 music videos for our singles that have come out so far. And I've always wanted to do a funny music video because all of our music videos are so serious. And our last music video got to be a real fun, crazy one. And so, I mean, so far, definitely crossing a lot of things off the bucket list as far as music goes, and very, very blessed and humbled by that.
Well, thank you for that perfect segue, because that was the next question. You guys recently released the video for Noise Revolution, and it looks like you had a lot of fun making it. And that even took me back to those, years when I was a kid and growing up in bands, and always you have this dream of coming out on stage to like this crowd, nobody's paying any attention, and all of a sudden you start playing and it all turns around, and that's what you guys did.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, man, it was a very tongue-in-cheek kind of video, but it's also very true, man. I mean, like there's sometimes you kind of have to win the crowd over. And I hope, as funny as the video is, I hope one thing that it gets across is just the power of music and the power that we have as musicians or those who play music on the radio to, help influence people. And, the video hopefully shows that, people kind of, warming up. And it's funny, man, because you think at some point in your career, those things won't happen anymore where, the crowd's not real into it. No one really cares. But dude, there's nights we're playing in front of thousands. There's nights where we're playing in front of 20 and they could care less. It's just one of those things. But, our goal is try to win the crowd over every show we play, and we go hard no matter what. I mean, we're going to act like there's thousands and thousands of people there, even if there's not.
Every night is Madison Square Garden, no matter what.
That's right, man. That's what Kiss taught me anyway. So.
Yep. And you alluded to this earlier, you guys always try and have a hopeful message, which sort of goes in line with your background and your love of people and everything. But we are probably perhaps in the most divisive era of our lifetimes, for sure, if not of all of our country. There's a lot of stuff out there right now that just hurts your soul. How do you channel that? How do you channel that into your songwriting and your music and push that hope?
Wow, that's a great question, man. That's a heavy one. Yeah, man, for us, every band has a different approach, and every band, there's lots of bands out there that do an amazing job. We know that we want to provide some kind of hope and even somewhat of an escape from that. Like when you're listening to our music and you come see us live, we hope for, that time that you're with us or the time that you're listening, that you're just whisked away to a place where you can just let it out, have fun, have a blast, have hope, have friendship, have some love in your life. Because you're right, man, we do live in a very dark, crazy world right now. And I just hope our music can reach people like that, just kind of get them out of that funk. We try to channel all of our lyrics, and even off the stage, when we're talking to people. And dude, we're just dudes, and we want to love on people and, just kind of be there. And, because that's one thing that I love about music is the unity. And, it's awesome to be a part of it.
We talked about heavy there near the end of this. Let's go out on a fun note, if you will, with 5 little quick ones here. You're a big movie buff guy. We're in the holiday season now. What is your all-time favorite holiday movie?
Hands down, Christmas Vacation.
Nice. Excellent.
Cracks me up, man.
Yeah. How much time do you spend quoting lines from that movie, right?
Oh, dude, all the time. I finally got my wife to watch it. She loved it. So that was a big win for me.
Nice. And as we said at the outset, we both grew up on Kiss. Who's your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
And you can't be a Kiss fan without having a favorite Kiss member because, like you said, they're like little mini superhero guys. Who's your favorite?
Yeah. Ace Frehley, no doubt about it.
And, of course, what is your all-time favorite? I know Destroyer's your favorite Kiss record, if I remember reading correctly. What's your favorite Kiss song?
Yeah. Favorite Kiss song of all time? Wow. That you really have no idea how hard that is to answer.
Oh,
man, it kind of ebbs and... Yeah, actually, yeah. You do. So it's a very cruel question to ask a Kiss fan. I think for me, just a few that come to mind, Shock Me, Ace's first real lead singing vocal debut.
Right.
I love that song. And then there's a song off of their Rock and Roll Over album called Mr. Speed that was never a hit. It was never a real popular one, but that song is just classic Kiss to me. And then I think probably my favorite of all time is Calling Dr. Love. It's like it's such a Kiss song to me. So
it's funny, Rock and Roll Over is probably still my favorite Kiss album. I know everybody's Destroyer, Love Gun, Alive, but Rock and Roll Over.
Rock and Roll Over is awesome. Well, because Rock and Roll Over, they sort of went back to the sound of their first 3 records. Destroyer was awesome, but it was huge, and they worked with a big producer, and it had a lot of different things. And they kind of went back to the boogie rock sound on Rock and Roll Over, which I love. So I do agree. That is an amazing record.
And Mr. Speed was and pretty much is still my all-time favorite Kiss song. But I have to tell you, going back to Destroyer and the last Kiss tour, the best part of that entire tour was the fact that they broke out Flaming Youth.
Oh, dude. Yes, that is an incredible song. I can't believe they played that live.
I know. It made the whole tour.
Dude, that's incredible, man. That is a great song. Also on Destroyer, man. King of the Nighttime World, also a really good one that I like too. So
absolutely. Paul's my guy, so anything Paul did is pretty much up my alley, but
Paul's incredible, man. It's really hard to pick your favorite member. I mean, I even like Eric Carr, their second drummer, a lot, so it's tough.
Absolutely. Okay, so our last 2 here, because like me, you're also an avid reader, and like me, you grew up with King and Kuntz. Who's your favorite? Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite book by King?
King, got to be The Shining. Scared me big time. I love the film by Kubrick. It's an amazing art piece. But Stephen King's book, man, there's just so much in there that that didn't make the movie, and it's intense.
True.
Very intense.
For me, it's probably still The Stand, and I know they made this they made a lame TV movie out of it. They really need to go back.
Yeah.
They need to go back and Netflix needs to do a 10, 12 episode series with
dude.
And somebody else has to play Randall Flagg. Jamie Sheridan, whose idea was that?
I'm not sure, man. But no, dude, that's a great one, man. That's awesome.
And here's a bit of trivia for you. I don't know if you know this. They actually asked Gene Simmons to play Randall Flagg in that, and that was right about the time he said, "No, I have to rededicate myself to Kiss."
Wow.
How different might that have been? Nope, true story. So,
dude, that's crazy. Well, because I know Gene was in some movies, like Runaway, and he was in some other movies and stuff. But yeah, dude, that would have really changed things up. I don't know. Could have been cool.
Could have been. Hopefully Netflix picks it up, though, and redoes it, because that is just a monster book. And that brings us to Dean, the Master Kuntz. What's your favorite book there?
Man, that's a tough one, too. I know it's almost sacrilege to say this, because King is such a classic. But Kuntz, man, he's been really creeping up my list lately. I just finished a book of his called What the Night Knows, and it was really, really good. Super, super terrifying. I really enjoyed it. And, in the end, light conquers darkness. And, that's, I'm a huge horror fan. I've got a horror movie collection like you wouldn't believe. But, of course, I like when the light conquers the darkness. Yeah, that book was really good. How about you?
I go back to some of his earlier stuff. Phantoms is still probably my favorite. The movie sucked, but the book was awesome.
Yeah, the movie was bad. That's cool, man.
Josh, thank you so much for taking some time. Legacy is fantastic, and I don't know if you're ever going to get out to my side of the country, but hopefully we'll get a chance to meet one of these days.
This spring, man, I wouldn't be surprised. We had a couple Idaho dates about 6 months ago, so hey, could happen.